Let's get right into this review for Materialists. Alright, so Materialists is a brand new romance film directed by Celine Song, who previously directed Past Lives. The film stars Dakota Johnson as the main lead and has Chris Evans and Pedro Pascal playing the pivotal supporting roles. Now, what did I think about the cinematic package here? I thought it was okay. There's definitely some evident flaws that shine throughout the acts, and the story direction does get less interesting as it plays out. Definitely the highlight for me was Act 1. I thought it brought up some interesting themes and concepts about what love can feel like in contemporary society, and I thought the film showcased the essence of being a materialist effectively. So yeah, Act 1 was a great attention grabber, and I thought half of Act 2 played out well enough to keep me thoroughly engaged. It's somewhere towards the end point of Act 2 and the start of Act 3 where I thought the story was on a constant downhill slope. Some story segments by that point dragged on unnecessarily long and felt somewhat predictable along the way. Also, the general conclusion, while it makes sense for the sake of this narrative, very much so felt unnatural and sort of forced from the way the story segments were stitched together for the final act. So yeah, Act 3 just didn't do it for me overall, and I found it to be the weakest part of this film. And really by the end of my screening, this entire cinematic experience felt incohesive, and the conclusion to this love story just didn't click with me at all. That brings me to my second key issue, being the acting and chemistry portrayed in this film. I think the core problem here for bland acting and chemistry primarily stems from the nature of the dialogues, the way the characters are woven into the screenplay, and how unnatural the overall narrative direction can feel at times. Pretty much all of the characters felt surface level bare bones, and none of them ever really developed into something more as the acts played out. So the synergy between the actors and their characters felt constant and monotonous and boring to witness, even during the more climactic and pivotal segments. And although I bashed this film right from the start, it goes without saying that not all of it was bad. Again, Act 1 started off surprisingly strong, and there are some fun segments sprinkled throughout the acts. And although the dialogue felt unnatural at times, I sometimes still found it to work in the film's favor. It was definitely a double-edged sword. Also, the cinematography and set locations really match what the screenplay was trying to showcase, and the prominent themes and ideas the film is trying to explore here come through loud and clear. My final score for Materialists ends up being 6 out of 10. This was an okay one-time watch experience. There's just some core problems in the screenplay that I felt didn't translate well into the big screen, and I just found myself feeling pretty neutral during the emotional story beats and thought the overall story fumbled towards the finish line. Thanks for checking this review out. I'll have more coming out next week, so stay tuned, and I shall see you on my next upload. Until then, peace.